Your body is a liar. Every ache you feel, every limit you believe in, and every fact you know about your physical strength is nothing more than a biological glitch designed to keep you safe. But what if you could bypass the safety governor? From brain surgeries that never happened to muscles built by pure thought, we are deep diving into the abyss of the subconscious. Today, on Scientific Solitude, we reveal 50 untold facts that prove your mind doesn't just inhabit your body, it commands it. Fact 1. The biochemical alchemy within the silent laboratory of your own skull. Your brain operates as the world's most advanced chemist. When you truly believe a healing process has begun, the mind triggers a phenomenon known as the placebo response, which is far more than just a trick of the imagination. It is a manual override of your biological systems, where the brain mainlines a precise cocktail of endorphins, dopamine, and self-generated opioids directly into your bloodstream. This internal alchemy can mimic the effects of complex pharmaceuticals, proving that the mind doesn't just perceive health, it can literally manufacture it from within the void of your own subconscious. Fact 2. The neural blueprint of physical strength is often viewed as a purely muscular endeavor. But the real power lies in the neural blueprint mapped out by your mind. Scientific studies have shown that individuals who perform mental contractions, visualizing themselves lifting heavy weights without moving a single muscle, can actually increase their physical strength by up to 13% or more. This happens because the brain cannot distinguish between a vivid mental rehearsal and a physical action. By focusing your intent in total solitude, you are effectively rewiring your nervous system, building the architecture of power before the body ever touches a weight. Fact 3. The governor's false horizon. Your body possesses a subconscious safety mechanism often referred to by elite athletes as the central governor. Its sole purpose is to scream exhaustion long before your biological tank is actually empty, creating a false horizon of what you believe is your physical limit. This is a survival glitch, a protective lie designed to keep your heart and muscles safe. To master mind over matter is to recognize that when your dimog tells you that you are finished, you have actually only utilized about 40% of your true capacity. Beyond that wall lies a hidden reservoir of energy that only the most disciplined minds can tap into. Fact 4. The epigenetic whisper. Your DNA is not a static, unchangeable script. It is more like a musical score that is constantly being played by your thoughts and environment. Through the science of epigenetics, we now understand that deep, solitary focus and emotional regulation can act as a whisper to your cells, turning certain genes on or off. When you maintain a state of high-frequency mental intent, you are essentially editing your own biological code. You aren't just a victim of your heredity. You are the lead editor of your genetic expression, capable of silencing the noise of disease and amplifying the signal of vitality. Fact 5. The phantom mirror effect. The phenomenon of the phantom limb provides a haunting window into the absolute dominance of the mind over physical matter. When an amputee feels excruciating pain in a limb that no longer exists, it proves that pain is not a property of the body, but a projection of the brain's internal map. By using a mirror box to trick the brain into seeing a reflection of a healthy limb, the pain vanishes instantly. This confirms a terrifyingly beautiful truth. Your physical reality is entirely dependent on your mind's perception. If you change the internal map, the external matter has no choice but to follow. Fact 6. The cortical command. For decades, we believed the brain was simply a passive receiver of pain, a witness to the body's injuries. But deep within the folds of the cerebral cortex lies a hidden executive function, the cortical command. Much like a silent guardian watching over an ancient fortress, your mind has the ability to gate physical sensations before they ever reach your conscious awareness. When a master of focus ignores the bite of a freezing wind, they aren't just being tough. They are manually recoding their neural pathways to prioritize purpose over perception. In this state of solitude, the mind decides what is real and what is merely noise. Fact 7. The molecular mirror your cells are not just building blocks. They are microscopic listeners, constantly eavesdropping on your internal monologue. This is the phenomenon of the molecular mirror, where your genetic expression reflects the state of your psyche. While empires rise and fall on the surface, the chemical bath your cells live in is determined by your dominant thoughts. Research into epigenetics shows that chronic stress can physically fray your DNA, while deep, solitary focus can act as a biological repair kit. You are not just living in your body. You are actively thinking your physical structure into existence, one molecule at a time. Fact 8. The governor's illusion deep within the primitive brain sits the central governor, a subconscious survival mechanism hardwired to keep you safe. Its job is to scream, "Stop!" long before you are actually in danger, creating a false horizon of exhaustion. Much like the dark, unexplored depths of an ocean abyss, your true physical limit is hidden far beneath the surface of what you feel is possible. To master mind over matter is to recognize that the feeling of giving up is often just a biological lie, a protective illusion designed to keep you from ever touching the terrifying potential that lies within your silent reserve. Fact 9. The bioelectric blueprint: every movement you make and every heartbeat you feel is preceded by a flash of electricity. But what science is now uncovering is the bioelectric blueprint, the reality that your intent creates an electrical field that guides the physical repair of your body. In the silence of total mental isolation, your brain's electrical output becomes more coherent, like a laser cutting through steel. This coherence allows the mind to direct healing signals to specific areas of the body with surgical precision. You are a walking electrical storm, and your will is the lightning rod that dictates exactly where that power strikes. Fact 10. The horizon of collective strength: there is a prehistoric silence that exists between our thoughts, a space where we are connected to the raw survival power of every ancestor who came before us. This is the horizon of human potential, where individual limits dissolve into the collective strength of the species. When you push past what is humanly possible, you are tapping into a reservoir of mental energy that has been sealed away for millennia. You aren't just a single person trying to overcome a physical obstacle. You are the current representative of a million-year-old lineage that has survived the impossible. To step into this power is to realize that the mind doesn't just inhabit matter, it commands it. Fact 11. The neuroplastic sculptor, your brain, is not a static organ. It is a living, breathing landscape that is constantly being reshaped by the neuroplastic sculptor of your attention. Every time you focus intensely in solitude, you are physically carving new canyons in your gray matter. Science has revealed that even in old age, the mind can forge entirely new neural pathways, bypassing damaged areas and restoring lost functions through sheer mental repetition. You aren't just stuck with the brain you were born with. You are the architect of your own cognitive evolution. In the silence of your own mind, you have the power to dismantle old, destructive habits and rebuild a mental fortress of absolute discipline. Fact 12. The frequency of fasting: there is a profound, scientific silence that occurs when the body stops consuming and starts listening. This is the frequency of fasting, a state where the mind's clarity skyrockets as the body enters autophagy, a cellular cleaning process. For millennia, the greatest thinkers have used this solitary state to bridge the gap between mind and matter. When the digestive system goes quiet, the brain's electrical activity shifts into a higher state of coherence, allowing for deep work that is impossible in a state of constant consumption. In this emptiness, the mind discovers that its true hunger isn't for food, but for the absolute control of its physical vessel. Fact 13. The amygdala override fear is a biological reflex, but courage is a mental choice. Deep within the brain, the amygdala acts as an ancient alarm system, designed to paralyze you with fight or flight signals. However, through the amygdala override, a disciplined mind can observe these chemical surges without reacting to them. By entering a state of scientific solitude, you can learn to decouple the physical sensation of fear from the mental experience of panic. You begin to see adrenaline not as a reason to run, but as high-octane fuel for your focus. To master mind over matter is to become the calm center of your own biological storm. Fact 14. The circadian command your body is synchronized to the ancient rhythms of the planet, but your mind has the power of the circadian command. While most people are slaves to their biological clocks, feeling tired or awake based on the sun's position, a master of focus can hack their internal rhythm. By using specific mental cues and solitary environmental control, you can command your brain to release melatonin or cortisol on your own timeline. You aren't just a passenger on this rotating rock. You are the captain of your own internal time, capable of maintaining peak performance even when the world around you is asleep or in chaos. Fact 15. The sensory deprivation peak. The greatest breakthroughs in human history didn't happen in the noise of the crowd. They happened in the abyss of total sensory deprivation. When you remove the distractions of sight, sound, and touch, the brain undergoes a radical transformation. Deprived of external input, the mind begins to generate its own internal data, leading to a state of hypercreative problem-solving and physical self-awareness. This is the sensory deprivation peak, where the boundaries between your skin and the world around you begin to blur. In this absolute solitude, you realize that the mind is not just part of the universe. It is the lens through which the universe experiences itself. Fact 16. The neural archive of trauma your body is a living ledger, recording every emotional impact and physical injury in a biological ledger known as the neural archive. Long after a wound has healed on the surface, the memory of that pain remains encoded in the fascia and the nervous system. Scientific solitude allows you to access this archive, not as a victim, but as an editor. By revisiting these neural snapshots in a state of total mental stillness, you can manually defrag the trauma, releasing the physical tension that has been stored for years. You aren't just your past. You are the one with the power to rewrite the code of how that past affects your current physical form. Fact 17. The oxygen paradox. We breathe to survive, but the oxygen paradox suggests that the mind can command the body to operate on a different efficiency scale. In states of extreme focus or specific breath work, the brain shifts the body into a state of hypoxia-induced clarity. As oxygen levels dip, the mind triggers a survival response that flushes the system with stem cells and anti-inflammatory markers. In this solitary abyss of breathlessness, the mind realizes it doesn't need nearly as much from the outside world as it thought. It learns to recycle energy from within, turning the very act of survival into a high-performance art form. Fact 18. The synaptic pruning of the ego during periods of deep isolation. Your brain undergoes a process called synaptic pruning, where it literally cuts away the neural connections that are no longer being used. For the modern human, this means the part of the brain responsible for social performance and ego starts to wither, while the areas responsible for core focus and self-regulation grow stronger. In the silence of scientific solitude, you are physically shedding the version of yourself that lives for the approval of others. You are pruning the noise so that the signal of your true intent can finally be heard, loud and clear. Fact 19. The mitochondrial will deep inside every one of your trillions of cells are mitochondria, the ancient power plants of life. While biology says they run on glucose and oxygen, emerging research into biophotonics suggests they may also respond to the frequency of your intent. When you operate in a state of absolute, unwavering lock-in, your mental state may influence the efficiency of these microscopic engines. This is the mitochondrial will, the bridge where a thought becomes a literal chemical explosion of energy. You aren't just trying to work hard. You are mentally supercharging the very batteries that keep your heart beating. Fact 20. The horizon of neurohacking. We are the first generation in human history with the tools to neurohack our own evolution. Through the combination of ancient solitary practices and modern understanding of brain waves, we are realizing that the human limit is a moving target. What was once considered a supernatural feat, like controlling one's own heart rate or body temperature, is now just a matter of mental software. The horizon of neurohacking is the realization that your mind is the ultimate operating system, and your body is just the hardware. With the right commands, there is no matter that the mind cannot eventually master. Fact 21. The neurosymphony of sleep. Sleep is often viewed as a state of passive rest. But in reality, it is a high-stakes neurosymphony where the mind performs its most critical maintenance on the body. During the deep stages of REM, the brain's glymphatic system opens up, literally washing away the toxic proteins that accumulate during our waking hours. In the absolute solitude of the night, the mind decides which memories to forge into permanent neural structures and which matter to discard. To master mind over matter, you must first master the silence of your sleep, for it is in this unconscious state that the blueprint of your physical health is either repaired or allowed to crumble. Fact 22. The heart-brain coherence. Most people believe the brain is the sole dictator of the body, but science has discovered a little brain in the heart, a complex network of 40,000 neurons that can act independently. When you enter a state of heart-brain coherence through deep focus and solitary breathing, these two organs begin to pulse in a single, unified rhythm. This resonance creates a powerful electromagnetic field that can be detected several feet away from the body. In this state, your mind isn't just thinking about health. It is broadcasting a biological command that forces your entire nervous system into a state of peak efficiency and profound resilience. Fact 23. The proprioceptive ghost. Your proprioception is your brain's ability to know exactly where your body is in space, even with your eyes closed. But in the abyss of total isolation, this sense begins to blur, creating the proprioceptive ghost. Without external visual cues, the mind can no longer tell where the skin ends and the world begins. This is the precise moment where mind over matter becomes literal, where the self expands beyond the physical vessel. By mastering this state, individuals can learn to manipulate their internal environment, like core temperature or pain. Because the brain no longer views the body as a separate, limited object, but as an extension of the infinite mind. Fact 24. The dopamine hierarchy in the modern world. Our brains are addicted to cheap dopamine, scrolling, sugar, and instant gratification. But scientific solitude allows you to reset the dopamine hierarchy. By depriving the mind of these low-level stimulations, you force the brain to search for reward in deep work and internal mastery. This shift changes your physical chemistry. Your body stops craving external consumption and starts thriving on internal production. You become physically more energetic and mentally more locked in, because your mind has realized that the greatest high comes from the absolute command of its own physical state. Fact 25. The quantum observer in biology. At the smallest scale of your existence, you are made of subatomic particles that follow the strange laws of quantum physics. One of these laws is the observer effect, the idea that the mere act of looking at a particle changes its behavior. If your mind is the observer and your cells are the matter, then your focused intent is the tool that collapses infinite possibilities into a single physical reality. When you sit in the silence of scientific solitude and focus on a specific healing or performance goal, you are, at a quantum level, forcing your biology to choose a specific path. You are not just a witness to your life. You are the quantum architect of your own physical destiny. Fact 26. The telomere shield at the ends of your DNA strands are protective caps called telomeres, often compared to the plastic tips on shoelaces. Science has long linked the shortening of these caps to aging and cellular decay. However, the telomere shield phenomenon suggests that your mental state is the primary guardian of these caps. Research into deep, solitary meditation shows that the mind can actually trigger an enzyme called telomerase, which repairs and lengthens these genetic shields. In the silence of scientific solitude, you aren't just resting. You are manually slowing down the clock of your own biological decay, proving that the mind can dictate the very speed at which the body ages. Fact 27. The placebo's dark twin, the nocebo effect, mind over matter, is a double-edged sword. Just as the mind can heal, it can also destroy through the nocebo effect. This is the dark twin of the placebo, where the mere belief that something will cause pain or sickness actually manifests the physical symptoms. If you sit in isolation and obsess over weakness or disease, your brain will dutifully release the stress hormones and inflammatory markers to match that internal reality. Mastering your mind in solitude is a survival necessity. If you do not consciously program your mind for strength, your subconscious will automatically default to the fears of the nocebo, physically manifesting the very limits you dread. Fact 28. The sensory gating mechanism. Your brain is constantly bombarded with billions of bits of data, but it uses a sensory gating mechanism to filter out what it deems irrelevant. Most people are at the mercy of this filter, but in scientific solitude, you can take manual control of the gate. This is how masters of focus can walk over hot coals or endure extreme pressure without the brain registering pain. They have trained their minds to classify the physical sensation as neutral data rather than emergency signal. By recategorizing how your brain labels incoming physical information, you can effectively change your biological response to the world around you. Fact 29. The neurochemistry of willpower is often thought of as an abstract concept, but it has a physical location in the anterior midcingulate cortex, AMCC. Science has discovered that this specific part of the brain actually grows larger in people who consistently do things they don't want to do. This is the neurochemistry of will. When you are in solitude and you force yourself to push through mental or physical discomfort, You are physically thickening the muscle of your resolve. This isn't just trying harder. It is a structural upgrade of your brain's hardware that makes future challenges physically easier to overcome. Fact 30. The morphogenetic field of the self-biologist Rupert Sheldrake proposed the idea of morphic resonance. But in the context of mind over matter, we look at the morphogenetic field of the self. This is the invisible energetic blueprint that your body follows to maintain its shape and function. In the deep silence of an abyss meditation, you can access this blueprint when you change your internal image of yourself, seeing yourself as vibrant and powerful rather than tired and broken. The physical matter of your body begins to reorganize itself to match that field. You are the sculptor, your mind is the chisel, and your physical body is the clay that must eventually yield to the design. Fact 31. The hippocampal expansion. While the world lives in a state of constant distraction, scientific solitude offers a physical upgrade to the brain's memory center. Scientific research shows that intense, solitary focus and spatial navigation tasks, like those practiced by monks or deep thinkers, actually trigger the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus. This is the hippocampal expansion. You aren't just remembering better. You are physically expanding the hardware of your brain to hold more complex data and deeper insights. In the silence of your own mind, you are building a vast library of consciousness that allows you to see patterns in reality that others completely miss. Fact 32. The vagus nerve override. The vagus nerve is the superhighway of the body, connecting the brain to every major organ. Most people are at the mercy of their fight or flight response, but a master of mind over matter uses the vagus nerve override. By controlling your breath in total solitude, you can manually send a signal to your heart to slow down and to your gut to calm the inflammation. You are essentially hacking the communication line between your head and your chest. This isn't just relaxation. It is a declaration of biological sovereignty, where the mind proves it can dictate the state of the body's most vital systems at will. Fact 33. The synaptic pruning of habit. Every time you enter a state of deep, solitary focus, your brain undergoes a process called synaptic pruning. It's like a gardener cutting away the dead branches of a tree to allow the healthy ones to thrive. In the abyss of isolation, the brain identifies the neural pathways of your old, weak habits and begins to dismantle them. At the same time, it strengthens the synapses of your new, disciplined intent. You aren't just trying to change. You are physically shedding your old self and growing a new neural architecture that is hardwired for success and resilience. Fact 34. The gamma wave breakthrough. When the mind reaches a peak state of aha or intense problem solving, it vibrates at the frequency of gamma waves. These are the fastest brain waves associated with the highest level of cognitive functioning. Most people only experience these in bursts, but through the practice of scientific solitude, you can learn to sustain this frequency. This is the gamma wave breakthrough, a state where the mind and matter resonate in perfect harmony. In this state, the body feels weightless, and the mind feels infinite, capable of processing information and executing physical tasks with a speed that borders on the superhuman. Fact 35. The cytokine silence. Inflammation is the root of almost every physical ailment, driven by chemicals called cytokines. But emerging science suggests that the mind can command a cytokine silence. By entering a state of deep meditative solitude, the brain can trigger the release of anti-inflammatory cascades that physically wash away the cellular stress in your joints and organs. You aren't just distressing. You are performing a cellular cleansing. In the silence of your own focus, you are telling your immune system to stand down, proving that the mind is the ultimate regulator of the body's internal environment. Fact 36. The endogenous pharmacy, your brain, is not just a processing unit. It is the most sophisticated pharmaceutical plant in the known universe. This is the endogenous pharmacy. When you are in total solitude, your mind can command the release of DMT, serotonin, and oxytocin in precise doses that no external drug can match. Science has shown that high-level meditators can naturally produce anandamide, also known as the bliss molecule, which physically binds to the same receptors as THC, but with surgical precision. You don't need to look outside for healing or euphoria. You simply need to learn how to access the master pharmacist sitting behind your eyes. Fact 37. The mitochondrial signal deep inside your cells. The mitochondria are often called the powerhouses of life. But new research suggests they are also antennas for your mental state. This is the mitochondrial signal. When you are in a state of deep, solitary focus, your mental frequency can actually influence how efficiently these organelles produce ATP, energy. If the mind is in chaos, the mitochondria become sluggish and dysfunctional. But in the silence of scientific solitude, your intent acts as a biological turbocharger, forcing your cells to produce energy with 100% efficiency. You aren't just feeling energetic. You are mentally commanding your cells to burn brighter. Fact 38. The prefrontal cortex override. Most people are slaves to their limbic system, the part of the brain that reacts with emotion and impulse. But through scientific solitude, you can strengthen the prefrontal cortex override. This is the area of the brain responsible for logical decision-making and long-term goals. By sitting in stillness and observing your impulses without acting on them, you are physically thickening the gray matter in this executive region. You are building a mental filter that stops the matter, your impulses, from controlling the mind. You become the pilot of your life, rather than just a passenger on a plane controlled by evolutionary fears. Fact 39. The biophoton emission. It sounds like science fiction, but every living cell in your body emits a faint, ultra-weak light known as biophotons. Research suggests that these light emissions are not just waste products, but a form of optical communication between your cells. In a state of intense mental coherence, your body's biophoton emission becomes more organized and rhythmic. This is the biophoton signal, where your mind uses light to coordinate the healing and functioning of your entire physical being. You are literally a being of light, and your focus is the lens that dictates how that light is distributed across your biological landscape. Fact 40. The mirror neuron paradox. Your brain contains mirror neurons that fire both when you perform an action and when you see someone else perform it. But the mirror neuron paradox reveals that in total solitude, you can use these neurons to hack your own skills. By vividly imagining yourself performing a complex task, whether it's a perfect golf swing or a surgical procedure, your brain's motor cortex is activated as if you were physically doing it. You can literally download muscle memory while sitting perfectly still. In the abyss of your own mind, you can become a master of any craft, proving that the mind can build the body's competence without the matter ever moving a muscle. Fact 41. The neural entrainment of time is not a universal constant in the human brain. It is a biological perception that can be stretched or compressed through neural entrainment. In moments of extreme focus or life-threatening danger, the brain increases its information processing speed so drastically that the outside world appears to move in slow motion. This is the mind's survival overclocking. In the silence of scientific solitude, you can train your mind to enter this state at will, effectively expanding time. You aren't just living longer. You are experiencing more data per second than the average human, proving that the mind can dictate the very pace of your reality. Fact 42. The epigenetic memory of ancestors. You are not a blank slate. You are a walking library of ancestral echoes. Science has discovered that trauma and strength can be passed down through epigenetic tags on your DNA. But the breakthrough lies in your ability to edit these tags through mind over matter. By practicing deep, solitary introspection, you can silence the genes of ancestral fear and amplify the genes of ancestral resilience. You are the master editor of a million-year-old script. In the abyss of your own consciousness, you are choosing which parts of your history to embody and which to leave behind in the dust of evolution. Fact 43. The bio-sovereignty of heart rate variability. Most people's hearts react like a leaf in the wind to every stressor. But a master of mind over matter possesses bio-sovereignty through heart rate variability. HRV. High HRV is a sign of a nervous system that is perfectly balanced between the mind and the matter. In total solitude, by controlling the microrhythms of your breath, you can manually signal your heart to enter a state of coherence. This creates a protective electromagnetic shield around your biology, making you physically immune to the chaotic noise of the modern world. You aren't just calm, you are biologically unshakable. Fact 44. The synaptic death of the old self to become something new. The old version of you must physically die at a cellular level. This is the synaptic death of the ego. In periods of extreme isolation and mental focus, the brain performs a radical pruning of the neural networks that support your old habits and self-doubts. If you don't use those pathways, the brain recycles the energy to build new, stronger ones. This is why scientific solitude feels so painful at first. You are literally feeling the matter of your old self being dismantled, so that a new, more powerful operating system can be installed. Fact 45. The quantum tunneling of intent at the deepest level of your biology. Your enzymes and DNA function through a process called quantum tunneling, where particles pass through impossible barriers. Emerging theories suggest that human intent can influence these quantum events. This is the quantum bridge, where a thought in the mind becomes a physical change in the matter of your cells without any intermediate steps. When you focus with 100% lock-in on a physical outcome, you are, at a subatomic level, forcing the universe to collapse into the reality you have chosen. You aren't just a part of the universe. You are the one observing and creating its physical form. Fact 46. The neurochemistry of transcendence. When a human enters a state of absolute mental stillness, the brain's parietal lobe, the part responsible for orienting you in physical space, begins to go dark. This is the neurochemistry of transcendence. Without sensory input to tell the brain where the body ends and the room begins, the mind experiences a dissolution of the self. In this solitary abyss, you no longer feel like a body with a mind. You feel like a mind that is temporarily inhabiting a body. This shift allows for an almost superhuman pain tolerance and a complete override of physical fear, because the matter has finally become secondary to the infinite mind. Fact 47. The default mode network. Reset your default mode network. DMN is the brain's autopilot, the place where your anxieties and your ego live. Constant noise keeps this network in a state of hyperactivity. However, scientific solitude acts as a manual reset button. In the deep silence, the DMN's grip on your consciousness weakens, allowing for subconscious emergence. This is where the mind unlearns chronic illness and mental blocks. By silencing the ego's chatter, you allow the body's natural intelligence to take over, performing biological repairs that were being blocked by the noise of your daily identity. Fact 48. The bio-sovereignty of the breath while breathing is automatic. It is the only autonomic function that can be manually hijacked. This is the master key of bio-sovereignty. By altering the ratio of your inhale to your exhale in total isolation, you can manually trigger the parasympathetic nervous system, forcing your heart rate to drop and your blood pressure to stabilize within seconds. You are essentially talking to your organs in a language they understand. To master mind over matter is to realize that the breath is the remote control for your entire biological reality. If you control the rhythm of the air, you control the chemistry of the cell. Fact 49. The mirror neuron self-optimization. Most people use their mirror neurons to copy the world around them, often picking up the weaknesses and anxieties of others. But in scientific solitude, you can use these neurons for internal mirroring. By vividly imagining a future self who is physically elite and mentally unshakable, your brain begins to fire as if you are already that person. This isn't just faking it, it is a biological rehearsal. The brain starts to rewire your motor cortex and hormonal output to match the image you are holding in the abyss of your mind, physically pulling your current body toward that future ideal. Fact 50. The singular reality of intent. The ultimate secret of mind over matter is that matter is not as solid as it seems. At a subatomic level, your body is 99.9% empty space, held together by electrical frequencies. The singular reality of intent is the realization that your will is the frequency that holds this space together. When your mind reaches a state of 100% coherence, where there is no doubt, no fear, and no distraction, the physical matter of your body must align with that frequency. You are the conductor of a biological orchestra. The cells are the instruments, and your consciousness is the music. In the end, the mind doesn't just control matter, it precedes it.